What we're going to look at are some research tools, a lot of research tools. And I've added the presentation in the chat. If you can re-add it for those who came in later, that would be great. So keep adding it because people who come in don't see what was there before. We'll take a look at some research tools, Claude using Anakin or Poe if you don't have it in your country, ChatGPT, and now Gemini. When I had created this, it was still Google Bard. And how we can enhance personalized learning, research enhancement, and improved academic outcomes. Now, all of these are based on my personal experiences with the tools, and I've used all the tools to gain a better understanding of how they work. So if you are interested in academic research, let me know in the chat if this interests you. Okay, I'm looking for a yes or no. If it's no, please be honest. That's perfectly fine. Just curious to see who's interested in AI research assistants, because that's all they are, just assistants to help us. We're not talking about plagiarizing or copying and pasting. We're talking about making use of these tools to help us improve our search and literature review, if that's what we want to do, and just in general to be read. Yes, we'll also be going, Elamine, into ethical issues with this, because there are certainly many ethical issues. So a little bit about me from DID. Now, those of you who haven't used DID, you can follow along here. I highly recommend that you try it. Olenka mentioned it yesterday, and rightly so. It is an amazing tool that will empower you and your students in ways that you didn't realize. And you'll get a sense of what it's like to turn yourself into an avatar, a speaking image. And this is what this is. So here goes.
Dr. Nellie Deutsch is an experienced educator, well known for her involvement in online learning and teaching. She's particularly interested in blending technology with face-to-face instruction. She has been teaching English as a foreign language in high school and at the university level, and has been involved in teacher training for a number of years. She applies a unique peer learning approach in her teaching. Deutsch is also known for her work with Moodle, a popular learning management system, and has organized a variety of online courses, workshops, online conferences, and webinars. She is currently teaching immersive experiences and technologies at IMT MSc program in immersive technologies at the International Hellenic University Distance Education. She has a Doctor of Education, Ed.D., in educational leadership specializing in curriculum and instruction. She researched instructor experiences in integrating technology in blended learning programs in higher education.
All right, so you can see the points there as well to summarize what DID. Notice the difference. There's the photo that I used. Okay, the photo was taken in 2015, before I turned gray. No, I'm just kidding. This is the presentation. As I told you, get your phones ready because you're going to need them. So how many of you have your phones by you? Please let me know in the chat. Do you have your phones next to you? Because you're going to need them. Okay, very good. Lucy, your phones. Okay, Anna, great, great. Always, okay. Ready, perfect. Okay, great, great, great. All right, so if you don't have your phone, you'll be able to do this later on. I've added the presentation in the chat box to help you along. In any case, if you have it, use it. And the presentation is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can view it. Of course, you can copy it. That's fine. You can download it and share it and remodel, do whatever you want with it. Okay, it's yours. So I think Rema Sharma mentioned it a bit. And yesterday, Harshita Kapoor mentioned the source of information. So where do AI tools get their information? where? And some of you may want to share that in the chat. So what is the source of information? Now, I went into this before I started using AI just to make sure that I understood what I was involving myself in. So we'll discuss that as well. So this is the overview of the presentation. We will look at what, why, and how. What are we talking about? Recommend AI tools to students. We're not just talking about instructors. Why use the AI tool and how to use it? If we're talking about personal experiences, it saves us time. And how we do it, we can compare different AIs, and I'll be talking about that. I'll also be talking about artificial intelligence and adult innovations, adult learning. And the question is why? Why do we need artificial intelligence in higher education? You might want to answer that. And then the how is to integrate AI in higher education in the classroom as part of your teaching and part of the students' learning. AI for higher education is the what, and AI enhancement. We'll be discussing some of the enhancements. And then, of course, the how is to compare again, comparing the different tools. This is really important. Don't get stuck on one tool. Try them all. And there'll be new ones coming up all the time. Just as we speak, a new one will show up and names will change and they'll have new features. And then prompt engineering, which is very important. Anyone want to define prompt engineering? And there are 3 E's. Notice, sorry about that. What is prompt engineering? We'll discuss that. And the reason we need prompt engineering is because it's easy. It makes life easier when we are accurate, and it's faster. Oh, good, Lucy. You have no idea. All right. So maybe someone can help Lucy. We'll be looking at that. And then how? Through free resources. There are a lot of free resources out there for Lucy and others who want to learn about prompt engineering. And we will be looking at some of the links that'll take you there. And then research, and as Ellen mentioned, ethical considerations. And then how are we going to do all of this? By implementing a plan. And I'll be sharing a plan with you that you can take to your administrators and see if they like it, or you can start it in your school. You can be the first one to try this plan. And of course, you can adopt it. So these are some of the recommendation tools that I recommend to students, and I've recommended to my students. And that is ChatGPT 4, not 3.5, but 4. I know it's expensive, but if you're going to use ChatGPT for research, don't use 3.5. For other things, yes, not for research. Why? And you've got the reasons there, because it'll help you generate ideas, you'll get explanations, and you'll get writing assistance. We'll be going through each of these. I'm not going to read them. You can read them as we go, and you've got the presentation that you can look at it. Google Bard, which is now, it used to be Google Bard plus Gemini. Now it's just Gemini without the Google Bard. They got rid of it. And then there's Claude. Notice these are all clickable, but I'll be sharing the QR codes later on. There's Claude. It's only available in the United States, but you can get it through Anakin and Poe. You can also get other AI tools with Anakin and Poe. There's also Bing Chat, which is quite good, especially if you're a Microsoft user. These are tools that I also recommend. We'll go into them a little bit later. Elicit, that was mentioned today by Rama Sharma, and Cite, that was mentioned by someone else. I think on the first day, Cite was mentioned, I think by Dr. Diva, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's Semantic Scholar. Anyone familiar? These are all free. Okay, they have paid versions, but they're free. Anyone hear of Semantic Scholar? Let me know in the chat if you've heard of Semantic Scholar. Consensus. or consensus. I'm looking at the chat to see. Yay, wonderful. All right, so Rika, nice. And Kinesius. Now, I highly recommend Kinesius. It's absolutely amazing. Kinesius, not Kinesius. Kinesius. It's absolutely amazing and completely free, and you get so much out of the tool. Grammarly, I'm sure everybody who has not heard of Grammarly. Okay, why use it? Use it as a writing assistant for grammar checking and style improvement. And I know that maybe native speakers don't use it, but I know some native speakers of English do use it, but non-native speakers of English make use of Grammarly. I hear that it's amazing from those who use it. Yeah, Quillbit, but you prefer that one, Rika? Okay, so if you use Grammarly and Quillbot, you might have a preference for one or the other. They're there with you all the time, so they're very useful. All right, so those are the tools that I recommend to my students. And these are the tools in one spot. And the idea, of course, is to use AI responsibly in research and cross-check the references. Always cross-check, because some of them do hallucinate. For example, Chat 3.5 hallucinates all the time. I don't even know if you'll get a real link. It even hallucinates about people. It just, if it doesn't find the answer, if you keep asking and it can't provide you with the answer, and it'll always provide you with an answer, it'll hallucinate. And there's Kineas, Elicit, Claude. Kineas is very reliable. Claude hallucinates. What's nice about Claude is that you can upload PDF files and it'll answer questions about it and give you information about the article. But there are a lot of PDF these days, PDF chats that do that. And then there's GPT-4, which is very reliable. You can check. It might miss one, but if you're going through a huge list, you'll find the ChatGPT, which is really expensive, so I don't recommend it, but don't use 3.5 for research, as I said. And of course, check your work. I think that was mentioned as well with Google Scholar. I prefer Google Scholar to just adding it into the internet, because Google Scholar has everything that's available. And of course, there's Bing, which does give you real information. And the final check, of course, is with Google Scholar. So these are some applications with the tools, and you can see them. They're all set up. ChatGPT-4, you can create, and this is what I've been doing, my personal use of generative AI. I have been using it in all my courses. For the course syllabus, I no longer write my own course syllabus. I am aided by ChatGPT-4 for the course syllabus. I also use Google Docs with Google Bard, now Gemini, to help me out. All my courses on Moodle, except for this one, Connecting Online, I didn't use an AI for that, no AI for that. Elicit, I use to find recent articles that are open source, and it provides you with the feature that reads the summaries and also add others. I like the fact that they allow me to find recent articles, because I do want recent articles, not 5 years. I even want them to be even more recent. And Kineas, of course, you upload a PDF article that you find on Google Scholar or Elicit, and that it'll help you find other articles based on the upload. So you upload what you have. It could be your own paper, by the way, an article that you wrote, and you want to find other articles that were written on the same topic as yours, because you don't want to plagiarize. You want to find out what's out there. And this is a great tool for that. That's Kineas. And then there's, I also use Transcriptor, because all my students have to create videos showcasing their work using images only, and then they speak straight into the camera and about their work or whatever they've learned. So I use Transcriptor, but you don't have to use Transcriptor if they're on YouTube, because if they're on YouTube, they're free tools for that. Transcriptor is not free. And then there's other things like ChatGPT 3.5. It's great for text chatting. Okay, but that's about it because it doesn't provide me with tables, and I need tables such as this one. It's just my way of sharing information through tables. It doesn't provide links, nor does it provide images. ChatGPT 4 provides you with images, with links. The images are through DALL-E, or there's Cosmos. There are other GPTs, they're called. I also created my own GPT for plagiarism. I have one under my name. If you have ChatGPT 4, you can try it out. And it can also build your personal profile. And it has amazing tables that are easy to paste anywhere. What's negative about ChatGPT 4 is that you need to continuously refine the prompts. It might say no. If you ever get ChatGPT to say no, you have to keep refining it until it says yes. So if you want ChatGPT to go into a link, you want it to summarize a website or something, you have to say, go into Bing or go into the internet and summarize this. You can't just say summarize this and expect ChatGPT to listen to you. So you have to constantly refine your prompts. The text font that they have for images is not in English. It's in gibberish. So their images aren't that great because of the font. And you need to continuously change the prompt. So I would not use ChatGPT for images at all. I would use Copilot or Designer, Microsoft Designer. And with the links, it keeps adding to the images, it keeps adding black shadows. It's hard to get rid of the shadows. And if you say, don't do this, it'll do it anyways, because it doesn't work that way. So it doesn't work with negative prompts. And that's something that's important, negative prompts. You want whatever you're using, especially if you're going to create images to work with, to have that feature negative prompts. So you can add that. Google Bard or Gemini is very, very current, just like Bing. And you can get links, you can get a lot of information on how things work. If you want a summary of someone's website, or you want a summary of a video, a YouTube video, just a YouTube video, ask Google Bard. Or if you want a description of an image, you can upload the image and it'll give you information about the image. It also creates wonderful tables that you can save. It can generate the tables for you on Google Drive or Google Spreadsheet, which is wonderful. But Gemini doesn't have an image generator that really works that well. So these are the features, the free ones, the paid ones. Free, notice Gemini is free. No, it's not actually. Sorry. It was free. Gemini was free. It's no longer, I mean, it's free, but you have the subscription as well. If you want to get more, they also have the paid subscription for Gemini now. So it's not completely free. Bing is free, Claude is free, but they also have a paid version. Notice that with references, again, 3.5 hallucinates, and the others do not hallucinate. Claude, you have to be careful because it sometimes does, unless you pay. So sometimes paying makes a difference. Currency, notice the currency of 3.5, and the other ones are current. Claude is also not current. Now, upload files, which is really important when we're talking about articles and summaries and getting questions on the articles for teachers and the answers, of course. You can upload files to ChatGPT 4, but not 3.5. With Gemini, it's the same thing. You can also upload files, and you can also do it with Claude, but it's limited in storage and size. If you have a huge PDF file that you'd like to upload and get information about and generate questions and summaries and so on, use PDF Gear. I didn't add it here, but PDF Gear is amazing. So what's the difference between artificial intelligence and generative AI? You could add that in the chat. What's the difference? In your opinion, and your opinion means that whatever you say is correct. But let's see what I wanted to. Yeah, you're right, Olenka, for using that Copilot and Microsoft Design. I think they're the best right now. So I'm looking for answers. Do you know the difference? I think you probably understood the difference after Ramesh's talk. Okay, not really. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The second was maybe based on users' experience. Interesting. Not really. Okay, it's just interesting. Or Harshita also spoke about this yesterday. She hinted at it. She didn't really specifically say it. Okay, so Lucy says AI gives you information, generative creates it. That's interesting because that's close, Lucy. All right, so this is an image. Guess how it was created? Anyone guess? Just from looking at it, can you tell what I used to create it? For those of you who have been creating images. Okay, we've got some generative AI, Lexica, more popular. Yeah, interesting. What you're saying about the differences. Okay. No, it was created with ChatGPT 4. Okay, so it does create, but you have to really go through a lot of prompts to get something close to what a Copilot does. All right, so let's look at the differences. That's the difference. So can you tell me what the difference is now? So one is left and one is right. And that's correct because one is actually the right brain and one is the left brain. You can think of it like that. So the right brain is generative AI and the left brain is artificial intelligence. Does that help? So AI is very mechanical and generative AI is very creative. So these are the definitions and between the two of them. So artificial intelligence is a broad field that includes any type of computer system which performs tasks that typically require human intelligence. So it's all the robots, okay? And generative AI is a subset of AI, but it's focused on creating new original content. And the focus here is on original. Everything that generative AI creates is one of a kind. It is not able to repeat anything, which makes it really difficult when it comes to detecting plagiarism. So it not only creates art, but it also creates text. It generates text, and you can never, ever, well, right now, nobody has been able to find a detector that works. People are paying a lot of money. Universities are paying a lot of money, and then they complain. It can't possibly work when it generates new each time and very unique. So even if you copy it, nobody else will have the same thing. And the scope, of course, artificial intelligence encompasses a wide range of technologies and applications. And you can think of your phone and everything else that is mechanical in your house that's based on AI. If you have anything like that, and I'm sure you do, think of what you have around you, including learning, reasoning, perception, and language understanding in a very mechanical way. And the difference is that it repeats over and over again. It's always going to repeat the same things. So it's never unique in whatever it does, where generative AI is unique, one of a kind. It involves generating new outputs each time, often mimicking or synthesizing data based on learned patterns. And the question is, where does it come from? Applications, you can see the applications, diverse applications ranging from simple automation, like cars, for example, Elon Musk's car, to complex decision-making systems, automation tools, chatbots. Chatbots are all artificial intelligence recommendation systems, self-driving cars that I just mentioned. And the primary functionality is processing and interpreting information, making decisions, or executing tasks. Now, these are all mechanical tasks. Okay, so Amazon, for example, has everything, everything's based on artificial intelligence, all the machinery and everything. It's not, there aren't people behind the machines. It's machines doing the work of people, humans. And then generative is they generate text, images, and so on, music, which is a problem for the music world and other art forms that are causing artists problems. And it involves the creation of new, and this is the focus, new, unique outputs that are not explicitly programmed, often resembling or inspired by existing data patterns, which of course we provide. And these are some of the prompt engineering for this. Again, was created with ChatGPT 4. And notice the wording was correct. It happens sometimes, but usually you get gibberish. And these are a kind of prompts that you need if you want realistic. Ask for realistic. The setting, the time of day, lighting, main subjects, objects, mood, everything you have to set. And this is an example of a prompt that you can try out after the session and see what you come up with. We're not going to do it now because we're basing this more on academic, but images serve a purpose, especially for presentations. And then, of course, if you want something abstract, artistic concepts, you ask for it and you will get it. With Copilot and with Designer, it's a lot easier because they give you templates, which make it easier these days. But with ChatGPT, you still need to feed it with specific information, more specific, I think, than on Copilot. Copilot, you get something. And not just that, with Copilot and Designer, if Copilot, you ask Copilot for a prompt, and then you can use it in Designer and you get your desired prompt. Now, for text, okay, this is what we're interested in. There are different kinds of text, and this is really important for writing classes or in general to get students to write the way you want them to in paragraph forms and to have everything according to your criteria, whatever you set up for them. There are descriptive prompts where you focus on describing a scene, creative writing prompts, informative prompts, and so on. We're not going to look at that. Instructional prompts, instructions, with your help, actually, you can come up with amazing instructions, very, very detailed, things that you may not have thought of. And Rob mentioned this in his talk about clear instructions. I think that by using AI tools, you will develop clearer instructions as you go. There's also conversational, of course, and persuasive prompts, all important for writing. And remember that if you're teaching writing, your students can get this as well. So be aware of it. And that's one of the ethical issues here, that students can actually ask for whatever you ask them to do. And they'll copy and paste it unless you have some guidelines and maybe other activities for them, such as comparing different AI tools and what they come up with those, and then they can synthesize everything and come up with their own work, original human work. And of course, you can come up with educational scenarios. This is great for language teachers and other teachers of other subjects, and it helps. You can also develop a rubric, which is amazing because I work with rubrics. I create criteria for the students so that they know exactly what they have to do and how they're graded. Also for course outline, this is great for teachers because sometimes it's really hard. But if you can feed with your prompt everything that your university requires you to do in the course outline, you can your AI can come up with exactly what you need and even better. So why not? Okay, this isn't really plagiarism or anything like that. It's okay. And of course, as I mentioned before, I do this for the syllabus creation. There are prompts, and you can use these, compose a syllabus, develop a comprehensive outline with all the criteria that you wish. And what's great is that your AI tool can absorb a lot of information and come up with exactly what you need. So don't worry about overfeeding it. You can feed it as much as you want. And then grading criteria, prompts for your grading criteria. So for learning, notice, is this your classroom? Raise your hand or let me know in the chat if this is your classroom. If not, would you like it to be your classroom? Anyone here interested in having a classroom with a humanoid assistant walking around, either naked or clothed? I know it might seem scary, but this could definitely be the future classroom because this is personal learning, and that's what it's about. It's reaching each one of your students and making sure that they understand. And trust me, the humanoid will have a lot of patience, more patience than any human teacher. And notice there are 2 of them in the classroom, but there are others. Okay, there are 6 others ready to go when you raise your hand or you provide the prompt for them to come to your desk and help you with a math question or any other question that you have. So they're good for personalized learning. You can actually, with the help of an AI tool such as ChatGPT or any other, Gemini or Bing, you can come up with personalized learning for each and every one of your students. If you've got 200 students, no worry. AI generators can do that very easily, but you wouldn't be able to do that. And they would also be able to come up with a form or some criteria for your students to let you know what they know and what they don't know. So all this can be fed into your generative AI. And of course, you can also analyze their learning habits. You can also have intelligent tutoring systems, and I'll be mentioning some of these so that you can get them right away with your phone as soon as we get to them. I think I jumped here. Yeah, there we go. Let me just move forward here. And there we are. Also, automated grading and feedback, and there are tools for that. Some are free and some are not so free. But universities have the money; they can afford, good tools. There's also data-driven insight. You can get analysis. I mean, Moodle has this these days, but I don't know what LMS your university is using. But it's easy to get insights about students' work, each one of them. And then you can take a look at this. And actually, your AI generators can summarize it for you. You don't have to read the whole thing, or they can read it to you. Not while you're sleeping, but when you're having lunch or something. And there's virtual and augmented reality. I don't know if you're familiar with that, if that interests you, but that's another way of immersing students, and AI can be added to that, as well as chatbots and virtual assistants to help you. AI can also help you tailor your content so that you can customize it and reach your students and not just reach a so-called student when I was in school, they just talked to, I don't know who they talked to. They just talked at the air in front of them, and they weren't really talking to us. But now you can actually relate to each and every one of your students because you know exactly what their background is and what their issues are, and you can help them. As you face them in the classroom, they're also predictive and analytics. And of course, to enhance research, there are large databases that can be put into it, as I mentioned before. There are also collaborative tools, AI-powered tools that enhance collaboration, support interactive learning environments, and cater to both online or hybrid formats, of course, the face-to-face as well. There's also language translation. Imagine your students, some of them are not native English speakers, if that's the language, your first language. They could have translations right there in front of them while you're speaking, so that they can also enjoy the content that you're sharing with them. Of course, there are ethical and critical thinking abilities. You can also develop these in your students, and students can develop them. So what are some of the tools? Let's look at them. This again was created with ChatGPT. So here they are. These are some of the tools. There's Alex. Tell me if you're familiar with any of these. Dr. Ramesh Sharma mentioned Duolingo. There's also Carnegie Learning. For different things, these are for tools for students, adaptive learning platforms, intelligent tutoring systems, data analytics software that are available for free. And I'm looking for, yeah, there it is, IBM Watson. And then there are tools, AI-powered research tools that you can use. They're all AI-based, chatbots and virtual assistants. Notice the students' tools and the teachers' tools. Okay, there are two columns. Some of them overlap. I think someone mentioned Replica today or maybe yesterday. These are all great tools. Okay, and for virtual and augmented reality, which is what I teach, if you're interested, there's Google Expeditions, Microsoft HoloLens for the student, and Oculus Rift and Google Expeditions also for the teacher. And plagiarism detectors, they don't exist, but you can still use them. If your students don't use generative AI, there's QText and Copyscape for the students to check their work before they submit them, to make sure that they have cited everything according to whatever system, if it's APA or another system. And Turnitin has been sued a few times by universities these days because they claim that they can detect AI text, and they can't. So that's as far as plagiarism detection goes. But I did create one. You can try mine if you've got ChatGPT 4. It has my name on it, but Nelly with a Y, Nelly Deutsch. And there's predictive analytics. You can use, as I mentioned, Moodle or Blackboard. They have these analytics embedded in them. And for automated grading systems, there's AutoGrader for student tools. Turn it in. Students can check their work there. And GradeScope and Turn it in again for teacher tools, grading system. And then there's language processing tools that I also mentioned. By the way, Google Translate is amazing on the iPhone, any phone, smartphone. So how can we do it? Okay, how can AI enhance learning? Well, this is an example. The teacher walks around, and this is a female humanoid, walks around with the teacher, and the teacher jots things down. The AI picks it up much faster. And then the AI is able to help. So the enhancement is personalized learning. I think that's key. Notice the methods and examples of tools. And I mentioned learning management system and adaptive learning platforms, as well as intelligent tutoring systems such as Carnegie Learning. I don't know if you've heard of these, and Learning Box. These are all clickable. So when you see the presentation, you'll be able to click on them. These are some research enhancement tools. You can see the methods, examples of the tools, and then these are all the tools. I've tried all of them, and some overlap. These are improved academic outcomes. I'm sure you've heard of Brightspace, Insights, Canvas, Analytics. They're absolutely amazing. And Canvas, by the way, is free for teachers. There's also track students' progress these days with AI, and that's Kahoot, Quizlet, and Socrative. They also provide that. Now, these are comparison of the tools. Can't you tell that this was created with ChatGPT? I mean, I can tell the difference just by looking at it. All right, so here you can get your phones ready. Trying to keep up to the time. Get your phone ready, and there's Claude. Now notice, use Anakin or Poe if you can't get Claude. I like Claude. They also have a paid version. You can read all about it. You can upload PDF files. Okay, and there's ChatGPT 4, but I'm sure you've all heard of it. And ChatGPT 4 has DALL-E and Bing in it, but it also has other GPTs, they're called, and they're amazing. If you want to transcribe or get a summary of a YouTube or any video of YouTube videos, people have created, just like I created. It's really easy to create GPTs, and I have, I think, about 5 of them now. I created one for Moodle, but Moodle.org asked me to take it down, which I did. There's more about ChatGPT and GPT building, as I just mentioned. There's also, you can also build using OpenAI, ChatGPT OpenAI, and use their APIs, which is really easy because all you have to do is ask ChatGPT 4 on how to create your API or how to create even websites. You can ask it for anything. It'll give you all the codes that you need. So it's really, really amazing. And it's not going to hallucinate. It's all true there. So there's some more information on GPT models. Elicit. Now, I love Elicit. And the reason that I love it is because it offers you a lot of free, and this is absolutely amazing, free articles, open access. And you can ask for open access articles so that you don't have to pay anything and have it analyzed. You can ask questions and it'll come up with, if you have a research question or any question on a topic that interests you, just ask Elicit, and Elicit will provide you with recent, or if you ask for recent articles, it'll do that. It's great for literature review and for papers in general. And this is not plagiarism because students are going to cite, and there is also a citation box. But if you need citations, you can find them on Google Scholar in whatever style you're using. As I mentioned before, that's Kineas. You can get the code for that, access it. Kineas is amazing. It's just lovely. And it has, the free version has so much. And I think that's important. Whenever I look at a tool, first of all, I look to see their prices. If they don't have a free version and there's not enough features under the free version, I will not even get an account on it. So first thing I do is go with the prices, because we can't pay for all these tools. Educators can't afford it. There's Claude. You can get that there. Claude again, and Anakin or Poe for that. There's Gemini that goes with your Gmail. And you can do different things with it. Notice it even writes poetry, the codes. I particularly like the codes. And this is terrible for code developers because you don't have to learn codes anymore. You can just ask for it. And that's a huge step for most people who don't have to learn to code anymore because it's all there. Okay, there's more about what Google Bard can do. Of course, Google Bard or Gemini summarizes and transcribes videos, YouTube videos as well. Okay, so I'm going to go faster. There's Iris. Iris is amazing AI. Try it. It has many features under the free, but as I said again, always look at the prices and see if it's worth your while. If the free version is worth your while. If the free version doesn't have enough, I would just forget about it. Semantic Scholar, I think, was mentioned. It is a truly amazing tool. There are also some in Chat GPT-4. There's Scholar, different Chat GPTs, actually, GPTs that you can use. Cite was also mentioned. I think you mentioned it yesterday, or Lincoln, didn't you? Or maybe Dr. Remish mentioned it. As a useful tool, Cite is really nice because it provides you with critical thinking and evidence-based analysis. And actually it provides students and teachers as well with a lot of decision-making. You have to decide, and you have to come up with good questions. It has over 100 million. That's unbelievable. Publication, the number probably has changed and is even larger. Tableau may not be as popular, but it's great. So there's Tableau. It's used for creating data visualizations and interactive dashboards. And this is important in research. And there's Power BI. It's a desktop. It's also for business analytics and data visualization. So if you teach business, or if you're involved in business, or if your students are in business, it'll help everyone. Power. And then there's Google Data Studio. How many of you have heard of Google Data Studio? It's also a powerful tool where you connect the data source and you can create reports and customize them. And some examples, of course, are also project presentations. If you're giving presentations and you need data reporting and visualization tools, that's very useful, because the ones that are available online, such as on Canva and others, are not that professional. And of course, we mentioned Grammarly, that's out there, very powerful tool. Quillbot, that I also mentioned, that many of you use. There are also Chrome extensions. You can find many of these as Chrome extensions, and then they're free for now. And then there's Twee, that was mentioned yesterday, one of my favorite tools. This is for English language teachers. Transcriptor, that I mentioned, that I personally use to transcribe, not only transcribes, it has a lot more. I highly recommend looking into Transcriptor to see what it does. It can transcribe lectures. So if students are recording your lectures, or you want to transcribe your own lectures, interviews, YouTube videos, other videos, not just, and you can upload, of course, audio as well as video. So I can't live without it. I need it. So these are some of the sources for prompt engineering. Okay, there's Learn Prompting that's available. And I suggest you learn how to prompt. I know it may seem counterintuitive and you think, well, I'll figure it out. That's what I thought at the beginning. I don't need to learn prompting. It's really easy. I'll just play around with it. And then you spend hours and you waste hours of your life trying to perfect prompting. So just learn how to prompt, or with Lakera. Here are some others. There's Free Code Camp. It's free. You don't have to go there. It's online. And there's OpenAI platform, which also has an amazing prompt engineering guide for you. There's Lambda Test and OakNoob. They're also nice. And this is the future. What do you think? Having humanoids in the classroom to learn with you so they can help you in some way. So implementing a plan, I'm just going to go through this really, really quickly. These are the steps. Step 1, to assess the needs of your students. Now, this could be done in your classroom. It could be done with your faculty, or it could be done where you just try things out, research, where a few teachers get together, collaborate, and start doing this. All these steps, evaluate the tools together as a team, and then do a pilot study to see how things work in small scales. It could be in your classroom or in your colleague's classroom, and then do it in a larger scale. So do it one step at a time, and continue checking things out to see how they work. And I highly recommend it, because the only way we're going to get our students involved in ethical issues is by involving them in the process. And these are some of the ethical issues. Now, this is my class with my humanoid, okay, all dressed up, because I don't think they should be naked. It's embarrassing for me anyway. So what do you think of this? You can add in the chat or in the takeaways in the forums. So there are privacy issues, of course. We want to protect our students' personal data. And it's going to be wide open unless we teach them about privacy concerns. And Harshita mentioned it yesterday. There's also bias and fairness. And every AI, generative AI tool will tell you that they are biased. Please be aware that I am biased. And if they don't tell you, stay away from them. So there should be some transparency and accountability. We mentioned that in general. And of course, there's intellectual property. Who does the data belong to? It belongs to all of us. It's collective. They took it from my conversations with my daughter and my family members, my husband. They took all of our conversations and they put it together. And that's where the data comes from. It comes from us. And Harshita mentioned it yesterday, so I'm not mentioning it today, just to remind you that we are the collective owners of all the information. And there's also a digital divide that we have to keep in mind. And this is an ethical consideration. Not everyone can afford ChatGPT-4. Even I can't afford it. It's a lot of money. And dependency on technology, that was also mentioned, that we become dependent and maybe lazy. Okay, so we need detox. We need to take care of ourselves and not be too dependent. Do a lot of self-care. Self-care is so important. I'll get to that in a second. And ethical use, be ethical in how you use it. And we don't know the long-term impact. So these are some of the benefits and challenges. You can go through it because our time is running, so I'm going to run with it. But you can read the information from Radford et al. There's some, okay, this was all taken from Radford. Decision-making, benefits, challenges. Where there are benefits, there are also challenges to each of these, and there are ethical considerations that we should keep in mind. So you have this, you'll be able to go through it. Notice there are a lot of them. Bias detection, resource allocation also have ethical issues. And remember that AI detectors are not accurate. These are some of them. None of them are accurate. There's an article on that by Weber, Wolf et al. And the final words are here. These are my final words. There are opportunities, there are challenges, and mitigation strategies. And this is the self-care that I personally want to share with you. The 20-20-20. Has anyone heard of the 20-20-20? Anyone? I'm looking at the chat. 20-20-20. No, no, no. So I don't know if any of you knew about my predicament that I had double vision for 12 days. I could see, if I hid one eye, I could see. Or if I hid the other eye, I could see perfectly well. But with both eyes, everything was double vision. And the reason was that I didn't practice 20-20-20. So what does 2020 mean? 2020. Okay, so what does 2020 mean for you? Oh, okay. 2020. No, that's not what I meant. 20 means that you're on your computer for 20 minutes. And then you look away at a 20, not 20 feet, of course, 20 centimeters away from you. And you look there for 20 seconds. Only 20 seconds. You count to 20. One, but you need to have 20 centimeters away from you. That's like, I think 3 feet, something like that. With glasses. No, it's okay. Depends. I need glasses only for the computer. I don't need glasses for distance. So I have to take my glasses off to look at a distance for 20 seconds. That's why I take them off. But if you're okay with your glasses, or you have bifocal or multifocal, whatever. So yes, you don't have to take your glasses off if you have them for both distance and for if you're nearsighted. So yes, that's the 20-20 rule. And if you don't practice it, be careful, because you need to take care of your eyes, because that's the first thing that's going to go if you overuse your screen. Oh, you do that. That's great, Rika. The third is for 20 seconds. So every 20 minutes, you look away, and you can keep your glasses, but I can't see far with my glasses. So you look away for 20 seconds, you count to 20, or you can time it. And then at a distance of 20 centimeters, that's the distance. It has to be far, because what you're doing is you're getting your eyes away from the close screen. What happened to me was I was in the screen for, I was doing, I think it happened in August, I was doing MMVC 23, and I was at my computer for about 15 hours straight into my computer, and I never looked away. That's what happened, and I should have. So that's my tip to you. And so, you know, it for me, it's without glasses. For you, it could be with glasses, as I said. So you can look it up. It's out there, the 20-20 rule. That's what it's called. So these are the references. They're all here. So you've got the presentation. There's some great articles, all taken from Illicit and some of the others. That's what I use it for. Okay, Darvishi is amazing. Notice they're all current with George Siemens. You probably know George Siemens, the father of the MOOC, the old MOOC. And he's now a doctor. And notice there's another one from 2023. And we need to talk about ChatGPT. These are all very current. How generative AI, artificial intelligence, may affect research, teaching, and practice. Research and marketing. And there's, do AI chatbots improve students' learning outcomes? Great question from the British Journal of Educational Technology. So if you wanted to know and you didn't know where to ask, check out these references, and also the impact of AI implementation in higher education on educational process future, a systematic review from 2021. And I think okay, let's see. Yes. Again, there's the presentation, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I provide lots of information, hopefully, that is useful. And you can follow me on